handing it over to Vincent, who joins us all the way from Melbourne, Australia. And yeah, rock it.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for coming to my session. This is a slightly, I guess my topic really falls in line with what composable DXP really is. So my topic is on how we are doing abstracting personalization at CPA Australia. So quickly, something about myself. My name is Vincent Lui. I'm a solution architect in the digital channel space at CPA Australia. My main role is focusing on Sitecore and the personalization technology strategy. I do have 10 years of experience with Sitecore, mainly in the XP and XM side of things. I am also a Sitecore technology MVP from 2020 to 2023. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get MVP as well this year. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, as said, and following on my contacts. So the agenda today, who and what is CPA Australia? I'll quickly do a recap of what we've done so far with our digital transformation journey. I'm going to tell everyone what we are using for personalization, which is, backed by our enterprise data platform, and some of the challenges that we've faced when it comes to this type of personalization as well. So who and what is CPA Australia? So CPA Australia stands for Certified Practicing Accountants. It is an international organization, membership organization, which was founded in 1886. The main goal is becoming a partner for accountants and people in the finance and accounting industry, basically. We have close to 171,000 members in over 100 countries around the world. There are 19 offices globally as well. And our main focus is on continuous education in all stages of an accountant during the accounting career. So think of it something like as a medical professional, like a doctor, that they do need to have continuous professional development, continuous education throughout the entire career, as well. So very similar approach with accountants. We've got different levels of membership. So the first tier is an associate member. So it's basically for accountants who have just graduated uni, who has entered into the workforce, and they want to become a certified practicing accountant. They have 6 years to complete six subjects, and they have to sit for exams as well. And they also need to provide the relevant work experiences. And once they've passed the program, then they become a certified practicing accountant. So most of the people who have become a CPA would hold their membership and hold this pretty prestigious status as a certified practicing accountant all the way until their retirement. We also have another tier of membership called fellowship certified practicing accountant. So these are highly experienced accountants who have got more than 15 years of experiences in the industry. So what do they have to do to maintain their membership and professional certifications? So there are total mandatory professional hours, 120 hours of those in a 3-year period. However, there is a minimum requirement of 20 hours per year. And some of the continuous professional development includes a person attending conferences and events, attending webinars, seminars, workshops, online learnings or in-house learnings, any accredited tertiary and professional body courses, which can be accredited uni courses that have been sort of pre-approval list for further education, doing some research and technical publications, so writing white papers, in the industry and presenting upfront to the industry as well, and also mentoring younger professionals as well. So these are all counted in those professional hours. So let's say you have attended a workshop that goes for 1 hour. That's 1 hour of your professional development. And by the way, some of these professional development, they cost money. So for people to attend, that's the other revenue generation that we've got in the organization. So every single thing costs money. The program itself, the yearly membership fee, all the courses that you attend, the online learning, the short courses, the events, every single thing has a it costs money. Some of them are free, but yeah, most of them do cost money. So quick recap on our digital transformation journey. We have done a web strategy, which is basically a rebranding of the website, replatforming the website from Sitecore 9 into Sitecore 10 JSS in a composable stack as well. What we are using is Sitecore XM as our content management system. Funny enough, we had to go with Adobe Marketing Stack. The reason why we're using Adobe Marketing Stack was that the back then Sitecore did not have a composable stack available. A fun story that I always tell people in the community is that on the day that we went live with the website with Sitecore JSS was the day that Sitecore acquired BoxServer. So that was an interesting tidbit. We have an enterprise data platform as well. So that has now been established, and it is an ongoing big piece of work that we use to drive the entire organization's data goals and reporting. And we also use it for personalization as well. We have done a CRM upgrade and uplift from Dynamics CRM 2016 to Dynamics 365. So that was just completed in October. We have onboarded Okta as our customer identity access management platform as well. We are also using Adobe Marketer Engage for all our marketing automation and also form embed into our web pages as well. So that's now complete as well. So a quick diagram of what we've got. We are using Sitecore as a CMS, like I said. We're using Adobe Analytics, Adobe Target for over-the-top personalization. Using Coveo as our federal research platform, where it services search results from our event management system, our learning management system, as well as all the content in 2 of our Sitecore websites. Yeah, this also searches the file inside the media library as well. So our enterprise data platform, this is the nitty-gritty, the fun bit. A lot of people, have asked me what the difference is between a CDP versus an EDP. So, a bit of a quick recap. A CDP is a platform to capture online interactions first and foremost. It is very suitable as well for immediate decision making and next best action based on the online interactions. So, a CDP capture interactions, page views, clicks, specific clicks that you want to track. You want to track maybe the search term that someone has put into the search box. Form submission data. Some people like to hook it up with form abandonment and to see how various things are tracking along as well, and using that analytical data to help them maybe change the design as well on the various forms. Gives a customer 360 view based on the various reference data sources. So, just like Sitecore CDP, there's a way for you to actually ingest data, for example, from a ERP or a CRM system as well, straight into the CDP. It also includes various first-party data from other systems of various individual users as well. It can provide real-time audience segmentations. It does require integration into and out of CDP for other data that cannot be captured during the user interactions online. So if you have any offline interactions that you want to capture and use that as a decision-making point in your CDP, you do need to put in the integration, complete the integration with the CDP. And the best thing of all for CDP, it is actually very fast. So an EDP, what is an EDP? EDP provides a single unified view of the entire organization's data. When I say an organization data, I also mean financial records, the profit and loss, general ledger data. There could be HR data involved as well in an enterprise data platform. So it's not just customer facing, it is actually data of the entire organization, including customers' data, as well as internal data. It is very good because it has got all the data in there. It can support driving data-driven decision making. So it could be, an example is that our CFO can look at our organization KPIs, look at our profits, where the profits are dropping, where the expenses are, and potentially use that data to actually help drive cost-cutting decisions as an example. We have also used the EDP as a way for our finance or our business stakeholders to actually self-service their reporting needs and their KPI reporting needs, various dashboards via Power BI. So basically the EDP allows that type of self-service capability for those users. So instead of someone generating a CSV report or Excel spreadsheet report for a particular business user or business stakeholder, now the business stakeholder can be trained using Power BI to create their own dashboards and their reports. It can also gain insights into a customer behavior from all different channels as well, because we use a CRM to capture various data. We can use, someone that is on site can be capturing the data on site in a physical conference, and then all of those data can feed back with integration straight back into our enterprise data platform. It identifies and mitigates risk because we are analyzing the data from multiple sources. And as I said, a CFO or any, someone from the chief executive level can actually understand what the organization is doing and how the organization is tracking along. Because of the sheer amount of data we've got, we can actually use those data to support various data-driven innovation that are required. Some of the innovations that we've done, using AI. Because of the amount of data that is available, we're actually using machine learning and AI to actually churn out various data segments for our members, for our users. So that was actually really, really cool. We have a data governance council. And then as part of the enterprise data platform integration as well, we have data cleansing processes in place. For example, someone punching in providing a phone number as part of the data cleansing process. The data cleansing process will ensure that phone number is in a proper international format. So country code, state, province code, and final phone number. So it makes sure that it adheres to that format. The another thing that we use from a data cleansing perspective is we also do address validation to make sure that a physical address actually exists out there, especially for Australia and New Zealand. Because it is our own platform, we can choose our own integration methods as we see fit. We use Azure Data Factory a lot to ingest data into our enterprise data platform. However, it can be the original source can be REST API, it can be a CSV via an SFTP, it could be a SOAP web service. There's a lot of freedom in there that allows us to do that. It is not as fast as CDP. We also ingest web analytics data into the EDP before any analysis as well. So imagine that you've got all the web analytics that is happening on the web channel, but you have to wait for that batch process to come in before it can be analyzed, before the AI and machine learning can run through it and then chill out a result, process a result, produce a result that can feed back to the user online. So imagine waiting for a couple of hours or waiting for even up to a day for that to happen. This is a conceptual diagram because I am in the personalization space. I am more on the consumption channels over here and the consumers channel over here in this conceptual diagram. But you can see that we've got various data sources in here that we can ingest either via a batch process, near real time, which we're not doing at the moment just yet, and also real time. and then after that you can then get stored into a data lake, and then finally various consumption channels will consume that data. So we've got, you know, dashboards, which is our Power BI. Our consumers are our internal staff. It can be our users, and it can be our various digital marketing applications as well, like a website. And this is our actual what we've done. You know, we've got data lake, we've got on the data source, we've got CRM in here. We've got our website analytics data, we've got our learning management system, and various other social media, and everything goes into the ingestion Azure data pipelines to ingest into the data lake. And then, as I said before, we've got Power BI, Azure ML Studio, and then we use MuleSoft as an integration platform as well. And then we are currently playing out with the bot agents at the moment. We are actually in proof of concept stage at the moment in here. The other thing, so in here, this is our consumers. It can be our analysts, it could be our internal staff, and then the applications are, it can feed the result back into our CRM, the websites for personalization purposes, and even call center as well to upsell particular people if required. So the key thing is that whatever results that have been processed of a particular user, be it a members, be it someone in a journey model, a journey segment, we want to make sure that all the results are exactly the same, so that our next best action that we recommend, whether it is via a phone call, whether it's via online chat, or whether it's via any digital channel, is exactly the same for a particular given user. The other thing that we are trying is the Microsoft Copilot, because Microsoft in the last Ignite has now introduced Copilot in this data layer. Basically, that's what they've said in Ignite. So they're putting Copilot in the Azure Data Lake store. They're putting Copilot in various compute storages in here. In Synapse as well, there's Copilot in there. So yeah, that's coming. But at the moment, we're trying to switch on Copilot wherever we've got licenses at the moment. So Dynamics 365 has a sales Copilot that we can get for free as part of our license. So we are in the process of switching that on at the moment. So it's just in our way to streamline our process to engage with our members. The next thing that we're looking at is the Microsoft 365 Copilot as well, to help us streamline our day-to-day operations, like, you know, creating a Microsoft Word document, creating a PowerPoint slides, you know, that sort of capabilities, and also Teams. There's a really good Teams integration as well, and Outlook integration with Copilot. So those are really important because you can directly integrate back into our CRM. Some of the challenges that we've faced and some of our upcoming challenges that we've encountered. So one of the challenges we had was page speed. So with any type of marketing technology with personalization, the old way of doing sort of DOM manipulation, and when you're doing some sort of personalization, when you want to change the output of what a page looks like, is that you will introduce a white curtain screen, and then the JavaScript will come in, do all the manipulation that is required, and then it will then lift up this white screen. So it's like opening a theater curtain to present the final result. However, this approach, while you don't see the DOM manipulation, the users will not see the flashing and the DOM moving around, there is a sacrifice with page speed, which affects our SEO score. So when I took a look at some of the most popular websites out there in the world, like a news website, so this is ABC News, one of the most popular websites, news website in Australia, I've discovered that they actually don't do that. And then you can see, not sure whether you can see it, but you can actually see the DOM actually changing in here when the website loads. So see the right hand side, everything just comes in. The DOM changes depending on whether they're doing A/B testing or personalization, right? So the DOM actually changes. So if a website like that does not care about this white curtain and they don't care about the DOM movement at all, we shouldn't even need to care about that as well ourselves. So what I did was we removed that white screen treatment, and our Google Lighthouse score just bumped up by 10 points immediately by just doing that. So that was a very easy, quick win for our Lighthouse score. What we are going to do in the future is introduce loading state for certain page components. It could be a loading spinner, or it could be a component that we just don't show until it is ready, or we just completely ignore the loading state and just let it do whatever it needs to do and just let it load and do the whole, DOM juggling around. So it really depends on the scenario and the use case of that particular page component. The other thing that we had to do was transferring all our Google Universal Analytics into Adobe Analytics because Google Analytics had a sunset date for July 1st, 2023 last year. So what we did was we migrated 7 existing applications that was using Google Analytics for tracking purposes to Adobe Analytics and Adobe Launch as our tag manager. We still have existing data that was captured back then with Google Analytics there, and we're currently using a mixture of tools. Our analytics team is using a mixture of tools with Supermetrics, Google Sheets, BigQuery, Power BI, Google Data Studio, and sort of matching all of those data together at the moment. But those are historical data now. So we need to decide whether it is actually worth transferring all of those data that we captured previously into our enterprise data platform, or do we just leave it there, take a snapshot of whatever is the most important and just let it die gracefully that we don't even care. So the digital analytics team is still trying to figure that out at the moment. We have also added Adobe Launch and Adobe Analytics to all our Microsoft Power Pages as well. So that was tricky because we had like around 20 Microsoft Power Page applications as well. And we also upgraded to Google Analytics 4 for our websites that requires some SEO and the websites that actually serve Google Ads as well. So those are actually our 2-cycle websites. So we upgraded the Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4 on those. We're using only really light tracking mechanism just because of SEO. So we're not doing deep tracking in using Google Analytics in there. The next challenge is data enrichment. So we need to provide really rich analytics data for deeper personalization recommendations and more targeted search results when someone is trying to search for something in a search box. And we want to also funnel everyone to a centralized login process on all our web applications when they log in via Okta. So what I mean is that when someone logs in, clicks on the login button on the screen, they punch in a username and password. As part of that process, we're going to fetch all the information from our EDP. If the information is not available in EDP, we might need to grab it from a CRM, or one of our member experience team might actually come up with a cohort of users that they want to do some test and learn with. So they could select a specific cohort of users. They might provide that with a CSV file because we are still doing test and learn to see how certain members interact with us. So we're going to stitch all of those information of a particular user together. We'll then build a dynamic user profile to be used in our marketing stack. And then we'll submit that all of the attributes of that particular user into our analytics platform, into the personalization optimization engine, to our marketing automation, as well as generating a token for our federal research in Coveo, so that each and every single one of these platforms will understand the actual user. So this is like stitching the audience together for our marketing process. And then finally, goes back to the application Okta endpoint to complete the login process. So by the time they start browsing any web applications, we understand, hey, this user is from Sydney in Australia. This person has been a member for 3 years. They have completed 4 subjects. They have they have 10 hours left in their continuous professional development left for the year, etc., etc. We've got all of the attributes that we can use for analytics as well as for personalization as well. The tag manager is another interesting challenge that we faced, especially when it comes to fully managed SaaS applications, because we do have some web applications that are actually SaaS applications, like our email management system and our online learning management system. They are fully SaaS applications. So what happens with Tag Manager, because we're using Adobe Launch, a lot of the SaaS applications support Google Tag Manager out of the box. So does it mean that we fire up Google Tag Manager first and then we fire up Adobe Launch? But we were actually really, really fortunate that every single application that we have actually used support using your own tag manager by providing your own script tag on it. So we were very lucky. So what we've learned is that SaaS applications will need to be evaluated with flexibility when we are onboarding the choice of tag manager. So that will be one of our assessment criteria on any SaaS applications that we onboard from here on. One of the potential options that I was playing with was actually routing the traffic through a reverse proxy, either through Cloudflare or Akamai. So there's a little handy app that Cloudflare has that allows you to inject HTML into any HTML output. We can also potentially use edge workers to inject tag manager script as well on the HTML output. However, your mileage may vary. Some vendor SaaS applications may not allow this type of interference, especially when they are running in front of really, really high-end CDNs like Akamai. Yeah, they might actually think, hey, this is not what I produce to you. The web application firewall might actually flag that as a security issue, that something has been tampered with. So just something to be mindful of and be very careful. So really quick demo on what that little Cloudflare application looks like in here. I've loaded a website in here. On the left-hand side in here, there's a little text box that allows me to inject a JavaScript. So basically, I'll just do a quick alert box at the bottom of the head, and I click the preview button. And as the website loads through Cloudflare, there's the JavaScript alert box that it just pops up straight away. So pretty handy. If we needed to go down that path, that was actually one of the options that I was thinking of doing. The other challenge is recommendations. So we want to inject content on recommendations on various digital channels. It can be very challenging because we need to figure out, hey, where is this front end code being managed? So let's just say you want to inject a carousel. Where is this carousel piece of code being managed? We found that some of our learnings that we've done is that injecting web experiences are usually done through copy and pasting potentially already compiled JavaScript code. And the other challenge is that the recommendation results for a person, like I said before, should be exactly the same. It doesn't matter what channel that person is on, whether it's on all the various different web applications, including the checkout flow, when you do the payments, and hey, you might like this, you might like that, or even just looking at a piece of article, or chatting to someone via an online chat, or talking to someone actually on telephone. Hey, I noticed that you still have 5 more hours. This course might be these online learning courses or these events might be applicable to you. Would you be interested? One of the Sitecore personalized way of doing is using HTML in a web experience. So this is what it looks like. This screenshot was taken from Sitecore's documentation page. As you can see, you've got a bunch of divs in here. You've got some handlebars in here, and then you've got your templates, and that you got to you got to play around with your colors, etc., in here. So in my opinion, it can be quite cumbersome and quite difficult to manage, especially when you have to do the same thing in many different web applications. So one way I've come across to solve this problem was taking leave on how to embed a tweet from Twitter or X into any single web page out there in the world. So there's a little widget in here that you can generate a embed code in here. And this is what the embed code looks like after it's been generated. It's just a block code, some basic HTML in here, basically. And then at the end, it's got a script async to a JavaScript. So we can actually do something very similar and put it in this text box in here as well. The advantage of doing that is that it is simplifying and it is using reusable code. The code is properly compiled, can be version controlled. You can showcase this particular recommendations injection web experience using Storybook if you need to. It can also be independently testable with an isolated API that retrieves recommendations from our enterprise data platform. And if you want to, you can actually apply this at a tab manager level if you choose to as well. So you don't really, if you don't want to use the site called personalize and you know that you will always apply this recommendation HTML in a particular given page of a particular web application, you can always do that via tab manager if you choose to. The other challenge we had was security. Australia is actually a massive gold pod when it comes to data breaches. We had some really massive data breaches from tier 1 organizations in the past 2 years. The enterprise data platform is our crown jewel. It's our most important data platform out there. We do have process to protect the PII data as well. So some of our process that we do is we go through our architectural review board when we need to implement any big changes like this, when we need to expose PII data to the world or to a SaaS provider or to an external provider. We also have a change approval board that actually scrutinizes all of this requirement as well. We have a privacy and impact threshold assessment that is done by our privacy officer when this sort of implementations occur. We try our best to adhere to secure core practices. We do have strong outback control with connectivity to our various resources, especially in our enterprise data platform. So, the SQL Synapse connection string, we do control and restrict certain data that can be read, it can be output to a consumer as well via outback. We are currently in the process of implementing proactive monitoring in all our entire Azure platform as well. So these are some of the examples that people are using out there in the world. Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft Purview seems to be a match made in heaven, especially in Azure. Some people use Splunk. Some people use the ELK stack as well, which is very popular. And this is how we basically, which we haven't done yet, but this is the conceptual architecture infrastructure diagram that we're going to use to read our Synapse Analytics, which is our data lake, EDP platform, to expose the data for a particular given user in here. So we've got various firewalls, and it is our AKS cluster with a very specific API that queries our enterprise data platform into here. So everything is firewalled and go through various logging to ensure that it is secure. We have an OpEx challenge. Any MarTech SaaS platform or PaaS platform always have a rate and subscription limits. So make sure you understand when you procure that marketing technology, make sure you understand what those limits mean in site calls terms. So this is site call. Site call defines everything as a visit. And then in site calls website under the legal order definitions, it explains very clearly on every single composable DSP platform applications that they've got, what a visit means. So I encourage everyone to understand and read that so that you can forecast how much you need for the upcoming year, so that you don't get charged with penalty, because some vendors provide penalties. So just got to be very, really careful and understand what it means. The other thing that we want to do is we want to do a showback and a chargeback model to all our cloud expenditures. So what we have started embarking on is embarking on a cloud adoption framework using Azure Cloud Landing Zones. There are complications, especially when it comes to shared resources. So let's just say, how do you split out the cost of a cycle exam in Azure into various business units and various business departments? So we are probably going to use a combination of analytics, our cloud billing costs, to show back the cloud cost of an initiative to a point where we want to get very granular to a level where this particular campaign in this period actually costs the organization or this business unit this much on the Azure billing cost, rather than having just one big lump sum of how this is how much cycle costs for the year in Azure. So the one way we're going to do it is we're going to ingest the cloud cost as in one reference data source into our enterprise data platform, and then the finance department or each individual business unit can then use that and the Adobe Analytics data that we've ingested into our enterprise data platform to actually carve out very specific how much campaign costs, specific campaign costs when it comes to the Azure hosting. So we're trying to get pretty granular to that. So the idea is that if our CFO comes in and says, "Hey, we need to cut costs by 50%," and then we could basically show the cost back to our CFO and say, "Hey, this business unit is spending this much on our Azure hosting. If you want to turn off the tap by 50%, this is going to impact this particular business unit," and the business unit can then be the one arguing the reason why they can't, the CFO cannot shut the tap, cannot close the tap on them, and then they can do that, and you can actually show the impact of various organization KPIs by just doing that. So it's really, really important to showcase our chargeback costs.